I wonder if that's why people haven't been able to log in.
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Apologies if anyone's been trying to join us. Now we are on air. Yes. Yeah, maybe that's. We got 5 people in attendance at the moment. So if you, we just delayed by 2 minutes to start. We had some technical issues logging in. We got 14 people. So if you just type in your name, please, so that and which club or district or area you are attending, joining us from, that'll be good. Welcome to tonight's webinar. It's all about discovering a simple 6-step system for club success. So we got Harman, we got Pablo. Welcome, Pablo. Good to see that you can see and you can hear me. My name is Wole Oshosami, and I'm your host tonight. Our presenter is Andy O'Sullivan, and we'll be getting Andy on in the next 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes to go, to 1 minute to go, and we will start. We got Richard from Beckenham, Richard Murray. You're welcome tonight. Hans Herman, all the way from Germany. Good to have you here. Brussels District 59. It's good to have you with us tonight. Welcome to the D91 Club Growth Webinars. Thank you for joining us. We will be starting in 1 minute. Apologies for the delay. Yes, a little bit of technical hit, but there you are. It's all sorted now. Andy is ready to go. Andy, if you're there, would you just like to say hello to those who are logging in?
I'm here. I'm waiting. I'm eager to share this webinar with you this evening and this simple success system. So thank you for coming to join us and give up your evening.
Yes. Yes, okay. So if that's okay, so welcome everyone once again to the D91 webinar series. Why are we doing this webinars? As you know, the webinars are for club officers and interested club members of District 91 and beyond. We certainly do get a lot of people beyond District 91 from Germany, from Brussels, from all over Europe, and as far away as Australia sometimes. And really the objective is to share and promote best practices for membership growth and retention across clubs. We also have a secondary objective of promoting and exchanging ideas between clubs. And tonight we have our own Andy O'Sullivan, who's an expert on club growth. He is, when I say an expert, Andy has grown clubs from 0 to 60 in, maybe 5 seconds or something like that. Yeah. So it's all about discovering a simple six-step system to your club growth and success. So over to you, Andy.
Thank you very much, Wally. Yes, that is exactly what we are going to share today, how to grow our clubs. And this is a system that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're not going to see it on Google, in a book, Toastmasters magazine, or even on the Toastmasters website. It's all kind of based on the experience that I've gained over the years building clubs and rescuing clubs as well. So let me start our presentation. Let's get that on the screen. So it'll help us as we go through this. There we go. Our Toastmasters webinar. There we go. This is the system. So this is based on my 11 years now in Toastmasters. And during that time, I've helped build clubs. I've been involved now in over 20 different clubs, building them up. I've also rescued clubs which were going to close because they didn't have the membership. And one of those is actually one of my current clubs, my Monday club, London Public Speakers. That was in that kind of situation. And by implementing this system, it built and grew the club. But I have to give you a warning with this system. If you use it and if you implement it, because that's the difference between learning it and actually implementing it, because I've been guilty of learning stuff but not doing stuff, you're going to have less opportunities to speak at your club. You won't be able to maybe do 2 or 3 roles in a meeting, maybe doing a speech or 2, because you're going to have more members coming in. The club's going to grow, which I think is a wonderful opportunity. But unfortunately for you, when you implement this, you will have less opportunities to speak and be multitasking. But I think that's a wonderful opportunity for us all to have. Now let me go on. I touched on the history of the club that I'm in, and that was when I helped set up, and then I left. And then I heard it was having troubles, and I tried to help them, but the president at the time didn't really want that help. So what happened was the club was about to shut. And that's when I got an email thanking me for my help, saying we're down to 4 members now, and we're going to shut the club down. Which I actually thought was amazing news. They're going to shut the club down because now they know they need help. And that's where I went back to them. We implemented this system, and the club went from 4 to become the 4th biggest club actually in the world a year or so ago. The 4th biggest club. We went from being fortnightly to weekly to twice a week. That club split off a year ago a year ago actually now. It became an independent club already. And they're both growing. They both got, I think it's about 85, 90 members each. And each meeting we have now, because we use this system, we have busy meetings where you don't see in this pictures all the people standing at the back of the room. And both those clubs have grown hugely. There's 2 slides I'm going to show you now, which I've got this, I put them in today, and personally, I'm embarrassed about them. I'm genuinely embarrassed about these 2 slides. I don't think it's something I would ever want to see, but we have them in my club, so I'm going to show you them. And what they are, it basically shows that we have a waiting list. And this is something I never think a club should have. This is the Thursday club waiting list as of today. This was put in December. So there's 12 people waiting to join the club, the Thursday club, at the moment. There's 39 people waiting to join the Monday club, which I think is absolutely awful that we're in this situation. You know, we should be doing something. The logical thing, if you look at those maths, is really start a new club, isn't it? Because that's what the numbers tell us. We could easily have a new club out of that. We do. I started a new club in December, a brand new Tuesday club in December. So beginning of November, I beg your pardon. And I started in November because I like doing November. It's a quiet time, gives you time to get going, ready for the New Year's resolutions in January. So that's what we did. Got a new club in January. This is partial, the membership list as it is at the moment. So these are all the people who have been joining the club. Doesn't include transfers. Doesn't include transfers at all. And there's about another 6 people who have transferred in or reinstated. So you can see that this club has now got about 37 members since November. All by using this system that you're going to go see today, as we're going to discover today. That's why I gave you the warning that if you implement the system, there's going to be far less opportunities for you to speak, because this is what the result it brings. And for the record, our district leadership team know that we have a lot of these waiting lists, and we're trying to find ways to utilize that to start off more clubs as well. As we go through this webinar, I'm going to be talking about websites. I'm going to be talking about certain links. I would please urge you not to jump onto the websites to start checking things. Please wait until we get to the end, and then there's an opportunity for you to check the websites that I'm referring to, and indeed some of your own as well. So let's get into the main part of it, because websites is a key part of Toastmasters and how we attract clients. But I want you to imagine something first of all. Imagine you're out shopping. Imagine you're walking down your high street, nice Saturday afternoon, and you feel a bit peckish, like you do when you've been out shopping all day. So you decide you're going to get your nice pizza. And there's a pizza shop for you there, right? You could nip in there and get some nice pizza. But next door is that pizza shop. Which would you choose? Which would you do? I mean, tell me, what do you guys think? Would you rather go Domino's, or would you rather go in Gio's? I think that's pronounced. Which pizza would you prefer? I know what I'd rather go. Which would you choose? I'd like to know. Wally wants Domino's. See, I would go Domino's. I wouldn't want to go in Gio's. I mean, it looks Bit run down, doesn't it? I mean, is it even open? Is it closed down? I don't know. I would go in Domino's. Pablo, like, yes, there's always one. You know, Domino's. Look, it's bright, it's modern, it's activity there, isn't there? You can see something's going on in that shop. And you know what? That's what your website has to show. That it's up to date, that it's alive, that something's going on there. And basically, the club is meeting. Because if your club's not meeting, why am I going to be interested? So let's look at an example. When I started doing this, I originally was not going to identify any clubs at all. But there are 2 clubs I'm not going to identify as we go through this, because they gave me such wonderful, I'll say ammunition, that's probably not the right word, but they gave me evidence and things that we can show, case examples of what it is we can go through. And one of those was this club, Excalibur Toastmasters. And this is what I Googled. And the reason I Googled them originally was purely because somebody said to me they were having trouble finding them, and they'd gone to the club. So I Googled it, and that's what came up. And I clicked on the top link like you would do. And there's their website. That's it. Now, not the most exciting of websites, is it really, when you look at that? But that's the Easy Speak website. Let's zoom in, and I'd like you to take a read of about their club, and then tell me in the chat box, please, what do you think of this? This is it. What do you think of their copy about their club? Anything you notice? Typo, Annalise? Yes, it is. There's a typo in it. The starters. Any other thoughts on what else is on this Batista copy? Remember, read this as somebody who's maybe looking for Toastmasters Club. You know? Yep, absolutely, Chris. It's the visitors. They can't spell. It's not open, Sarah. You're absolutely right. It's just Shamila's working. It's long. It's not enticing, is it? Right? It's a long as a Kiara, I think it is, says it's not enticing. It's got spelling mistakes in it, which is not particularly professional. But okay, let's go on back to their main website, and they have over here this area here where they meet. Now, I think that's a great idea. It's got a hyperlink, so if somebody's on a mobile phone, they can click on it. They can go straight into the URL. So let's have a look. There it is. So you click on the link, it takes you to the map, Google Maps. Love that. Love that. And then you click on that, and it takes you to the venue where the club meets. And I think this is actually excellent that people can click on their phones and see where your club is meeting. Unfortunately, though, it's the wrong building. Excalibur don't meet there. They meet down the road. So it's like, I don't know, 80 yards further down the road that they meet. So it's giving them the wrong building. And this is the problem this lady had. She was trying to get in one building and they're down the road. So not a great start, is it? So let's go back to this bit here, where we have the main part about the copy, which, as Chris points out, doesn't even tell you what competent communication manual is. It's assumed you would know. So they do have now a web link, so you can go onto their website and have a look. So let's have a look at their website and tell me, what do you think about the website when you see it for Excalibur speakers? Here it is. This is their website. They're advertising for us. When you go looking to join this club. Can anybody see something slightly wrong here? A template could be Cora. It could be. I don't know what it is. It's certainly not a Toastmasters public speaking club, is it, Helena? It's certainly not. Totally wrong. So this is what people are going to. It does look like, I think there is another company called Excalibur who do sell speakers. But what do you think when you go along? And this is why it's so important to know what our websites are doing. And Excalibur, sadly, are not the only ones. I only wish they were. I mean, look at this. This is another one. I took this today. Look at their recent posts. I hid who the club was. This is today, their recent posts. Does that make you think the club's meeting? You wouldn't, would you? I mean, recent posts, 2005? Let alone 2007 or 2015. There's nothing there. But this is what we see. But at least they got something. Here's another club. This is their club news. What is it? Yeah, please do check your website later. Don't start checking them now. That's why I said to you, hold your social media back for a bit. There's even more to come of things we need to have a look at. This is only the first step of our 6-step system. But there are some great websites. I picked on some which aren't so good, but there are some others which are. So let's look. This one I like. Abingdon Speakers. I like the way on one side you've got the pain points. What do you want to give? And then they're giving you a solution with a nice welcome. You see, I like that. I think that's great. A nice website. Another one I like is Jay's Toastmasters. Scared, we can help you. And they're great, because that's what people feel when they're looking for Toastmasters clubs. And they give you a statistic and backs it up. So they're the kind of things we could have, as well as the other ones which are obviously not so good. So apart from your club website, people may be looking for Toastmasters clubs, and one of the workplaces they're going to go is here, to the Toastmasters International website, find a club. And you can go in there and look for clubs, something I do quite a lot. So I did this a while ago. I'm in London, and I was looking at clubs just 5 miles around my area because there's so many clubs. We're blessed to have so many clubs. But what was rather sad about this, and clubs will have this, and Jackie just said they use Facebook, but I know clubs who have Facebook and will still fall into this same problem, which I'm now going to come on to, is that you go onto there, you look for a club, and when you click on the club to find out when they're meeting and the details they have, you get this. Sadly, it did not take me long to find all those. So first thing we need to think about is keeping up to date with our listings on Toastmasters International, because people can't find us. I was in a club recently, and speaking to the committee after the meeting finished, they said they don't get many guests. In fact, I was the only guest, right? The committee were there. I was the only guest at this club, which actually meets very close to where I am. And I asked them, what's your website address? Because I've got my phone to look at their website. What's your website? That was a tricky question. Nobody seemed to know the name of their website. So if the committee don't know the name of the website, it's going to be tricky for anybody else to kind of find it. And then when I looked on Toastmasters International to find their website through this link, that's also I got one of those error messages. So we need to keep it updated, as Helena says. Whatever we use, it needs to be updated on Toastmasters. When we change venue, when we change URL, whatever we do. And we just need to go on as a club officer and change those 2 fields. That's what we need to do to make sure people can find us. Because they can't find us, they're not going to come, obviously. And the key here is that everybody is only 2 clicks away. They're going to click on your club website, they look at it for 4 or 5 seconds, and they go to someone else. And sadly, when they go to somebody else, it may not be another Toastmasters club. It could be one of these many other groups that meet around London, around all these cities and towns around the world. And they're not Toastmasters. They don't have the same high standard as us. And it's awful when I know people go to them, and some people who spend fortunes with people learning public speaking skills. And those people I've trained people to do public speaking, and then after a day's training, they've gone off and started running their own group. And I know they're not qualified. I've got the experience to teach public speaking, but sadly, the people who are paying their good money don't realize it. That's why it's so important for us to have our websites up to date, because our websites are our shop window. That's exactly what they are to the world. And we want people to be looking in and coming in to see us. That's what we should be striving to do. So that's the first part of the system, to use it as your shop window, to make sure it's up to date. It looks current. It doesn't have to have loads of blog posts. I personally like static websites. All the information's there. People can contact you if they want to. I even put my phone numbers on one of my club websites because some people like to ring. So you may put a phone number down. I do put an O rather than a 0 because then it's less likely to get one of these bots picking it up. But have it out there. So check your websites. That's the first thing we need to be doing. Make sure they work and people can find us and they look fresh. First step over. Any questions, my friends, on the first part of our 6-step system? Any questions? Please put them in the chat box. Anything on what we've covered so far? Just let me know. We'll cover it as we go through. If you've got questions, we do this with each of these 6 steps. I will pause, check if there are any questions. And if there are, we can take them as we go through. Excellent. I love it. It's crystal clear, Pablo. Love that it's crystal clear. I hope it stays like that as we go through the session. There have been no questions then. I will move on to the next part of our system. So can Facebook replace a website? I would say personally no. It can be used to have people for engagement, but Google-wise will not pick it up. If people are searching in Google, Google brings up websites. So therefore, if you want to reach people, you want to have a proper website. Facebook is fine. You can have a Facebook group. As Riverside, I believe, do. You go to Toastmasters and it links through to their Facebook group. Perfectly fine. But Google will not be indexing all those individual groups. So when people search, I mean, like when you and I search on Google all the time, very rarely would you get anything in Facebook. That's why I say you should always have a Facebook page if you want to grow the club, even if it's just quite a basic one. And there are some templates you can use. Just need somebody who knows WordPress a little bit, to be honest, and you can get some templates and set those up. So we talked earlier about dominoes, although one person preferred geos, but that's okay. But let's imagine after this exciting night we're going to spend together, or an hour or two anyway, you feel a bit peckish and you go along and you want to order a nice Domino's pizza. And the number 3 doesn't always look nice to me. So imagine you are going to order pizza tonight and you go to the Domino's Pizza website. Do you want to see that? Is that what you want to see? Domino's Pizzas, the menu, what they provide, and what you can eat? Or do you want to see something else before you buy your pizza? I mean, before you buy the pizza, would you like to know, and do you think it's important to know, information about the company? Do you want to know how many branches Domino's Pizzas have, their philosophy, their core values and vision, who the CEO is, where they were founded? Can anybody tell me what they would prefer to see, guys? What would you prefer to see? Would you prefer to see this, or do you want to see the menu? What do you normally want to see when you go to Domino's Pizza, or indeed any pizza? Other pizza companies are available. But I'd like to know what you think. What would you like to see? Let's see what you guys want. Sarah just wants pizza, yes. So I want pizza. Chris wants a menu. Pablo wants a menu. Kiara, sorry, Kiara, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. Wants to see the menu. Yeah, we all want to see the menu. Right? I don't really care about when Domino's Pizza was founded. I don't care how many branches they've got. I want the menu like Hounds does as well. Exactly. That's what we want to see, right? So the question is then, if that's the case, we want the pizza, we want the menu, like Barbara and I, why do we not do that with our websites? So often you go to a website and they don't give you the pizza. They don't give you the main thing you're looking for. It's like this. Have a look at this one. This is what you see when you go straight to it. It's all about them, isn't it? We are public speaking. We are part of Toastmasters. We meet. We meet. It's all we everywhere. That's all it's about. It's all about them. Why do I care about them? Why do I care about Toastmasters? I don't even know what Toastmasters is at this stage. I just want to find, I've got a problem, I'm scared of public speaking. That's all I want to know about. And it's all about them. And if you look, there's so many sites like this. Here's another one. Look, you go to, this is the first thing I saw. It's all about them. There's nothing that's going to help me as somebody who's looking to get over my fear of public speaking. The fact this club claims to be one of the leading clubs in London, who cares? Right? We don't care what they are or not. So look at the copy you've got on the websites as well. How does it help the people who are looking? Somebody came to my club a while ago who said they're a member of a new club up in Manchester in Northern England. I said, they're not really getting many people coming along. And I said, really? Why? He goes, we don't know. We've got a great website, we're close links, but people aren't coming. And I looked on my phone on the website, and I personally could see why. Tell me what you think of this website when I show it to you. I mean, this is it. This is Salford Speakers. So I'll zoom in a bit more so you can read that copy below the photograph. And this is all it says. What do you think of this? It's great copy. I have my strong opinions on this. Do you think that's enticing for guests? What do you think? Let's see what I'd love to see your comments. What is it you feel? Yeah, Wally, it's just information. I mean, to me, you know, when I look at this, I think, well, first of all, why do I care about the club number? Yeah, it's totally boring. It's just, and the information is at the bottom. Exactly. There's nothing there. I mean, do we care they're chartered? What does chartered mean? Most of my members wouldn't even know what a chartered club means. A chartered club, by the way, means you've got more than 20 members and you're an official club in Toastmasters. It is boring. Club number, right? And then you've got that little bit of information there, all right? And you're right, Barbara, it's not exciting at all. And Meryl says it's the same. Okay, so let's go back. This is their main website. And what you then have down there, which I won't even bother zooming in on, is a list of the meeting dates from the end of 2017 all the way through to the end of 2018. Every single one of them is listed. And I'm going to zoom in on the bottom copy. And then again, I'd love to see, what is it you think about this? We've got 23 people on this call, so I'd like to see some more people telling me, what do you think of this copy? This is what they tell you. What are your thoughts on this? All 23 of us on here. Let's see what we think of this. And I give this as examples to show how easy it is to do things without, and get things, opinions over without really meaning to. What do we think of this? Both of these clubs know my thoughts on their websites, so I'm not just picking unnecessarily. What do you think of this copy? Not very useful, you're right. Not exciting, it's not useful. Any other thoughts? Confusing, it's not invited. Exactly, it's not. And one of the things that struck me when I read that, it's quite, I don't know, direct, quite intimidating in a way. I mean, do shout it, put the dates in your diary and be sure to attend every meeting, every meeting. Yeah, it's not a message for Annalise, it's not a message for me. I mean, can we always want to attend every meeting? Exactly, Pablo. We can't. We can't. All the dates. We've got to attend every single date. Yep, all the dates they've given us, right? And we can't. I wouldn't expect everybody to attend every meeting, but that's what it is. So straight away, you'll be told you've got to attend every meeting and the date. Okay, but then let's have a look. So they've got a link to their Facebook page, which hopefully won't be as bossy as Alina puts it in their tone. So let's look at their Facebook page for this new club. There it is. That's their Facebook page. A new club. So again, are they meeting? Do you want? I personally, I mean, I probably would go if I was in Salford because I'm a member. But if I was looking for somewhere to go, it's hardly enticing, is it? And one more thing, sticking with Salford speakers, I then went down the next menu today on their website, and this is what you get as well. Who cares? Would be my view, to be honest. You know that they've done that. They've chartered. It doesn't mean anything to me as a guest, and this is what we want to do. We want to talk to the people who are looking at our website. What is it that they want? And we want to talk to them in their language, like shops do, like big commercial companies. Here's a good example of what one does. So what one club does, I should say. You see how they're talking to us as somebody reading it. Do you? Would you? And then they talk about how they can help. So we've got to focus on you as the reader. When you're reading the website, making it you focused. And when it's you focused, it's answering your questions, your pain points, and it makes you want to come. So rather than talking about the history of Toastmasters, how many clubs, when we were founded, that we're the leading club in ABC and we're near the car park in the station, that's great information, but after they want to come to see you, once you've answered their pain point. So talk about, like this Covent Garden does here, how can you help them? And then we can talk about the nitty gritty stuff. You don't care where a shop is until you know what they sell and that it's worth you going there. Otherwise, why would you care where a shop is or anything? So this is what we need to be thinking about on our websites and all our copy, making it very much you focused. You focus for the person who's reading it, answering. So look at the websites and your copy on your website, your Facebook, wherever it is, and look at it as somebody who knows nothing about Toastmasters. I mean, Chris mentioned earlier, Excalibur never mentioned what competent communication manual is. And so often websites talk about, you're going to work through that. You're going to do your competent leadership. What does that mean to anybody? Until you get involved in Toastmasters, it doesn't mean anything. All people are really looking to is, how can you help me with my fear of public speaking? How can you help me to build my confidence? So look at making it you focused, like Domino's do. When you go there, you see the menu. That's what we all want to have. So that, my friend, is stage 2 in it. Make it you focused. Some converted. Any questions on youth being focused? I think that was quite a good one. Quite an easy one, but one that we can often slip up on. In that case, we'll move on. Actually, I've got a question. I have questions. I would like to know this. Why do people join your club? So some of the 23 people we have online, I think it's 23. Why do people join your club? Could you share with me, please? Why do people join your club? There's some really good reasons why people join your club. Why do you think they join? What is it that makes them go from that guest to becoming a member, and hopefully an active member and a long-term member who's working the way through their speeches and manuals and taking roles? What is it makes them? Why do they join your club? What is it that makes them go over that threshold? Because people often come, supportive, fun, says Shamila. Yes. Go there, fear public speaking, fun in a Monday morning, energy, atmosphere, learning. Yep, I love that. Warm, supportive. Love the ambience. Great. Afraid to speak in public meetings. Energy. Yes. Share learning. God, that's not moving. Increase their confidence. Yep. Friendly. Yep. Improve work presentation. Absolutely. That's why people come as well. I would suggest there's one other as well. Good to have a warm welcome. A warm welcome is important, Richard. We're going to talk about that. Yes. Community. Yes. People, when people come, the one thing they're all looking for, which I don't think anybody mentioned, people touched on it, the business. They want, actually, Richard mentioned they want the warm welcome, and they do want a warm welcome. That's something that everybody, we should be giving people when they come into Toastmasters. We should be grabbing them when they come in, making them feel welcome, making them feel part of it. And that is it, Pablo. Belonging. That is the one thing that people want. They come in, they feel welcome, they feel part of it. Because nobody's going to join a club if they don't feel part of it. They feel they belong to it. They want to be part of it. We all want to belong. We all want to be included. And that's a key part of any club, making them feel part of it. So often that doesn't happen. I went to a club at the end of last year and I met somebody. They met in a hotel. I asked the receptionist where the club met. She pointed me down the corridor, and this voice said to me, "I'm going that way." And we walked down the corridor, and nobody greeted us, nobody met us, nobody talked to us. And I go to so many clubs like that where people don't talk to us when we go in. Guests are left sitting on their own. And if guests are left sitting on their own all the time, feeling lonely, feeling on their own, why do they want to come back? Why would you go back if you don't feel that you belong, that you're part of it? We want to welcome guests, make them feel part of it. If guests aren't made feel welcome, I wouldn't go back. I've got some clubs now and I personally would never join them in a million years because they're not very welcoming. They're very cliquey, some clubs. And that's why I think it's a shame we need to break it. When you come to my clubs, which some of the people on this chat have been, I know, you'll get signed in by the Sergeant Arms, the person doing the guest introductions. They will sign you in. Then you walk into the room and you'll be met again by myself and a couple of other members. And normally by the time you've reached your chair, you would have spoken to at least 2 or 3 times before you get to the chair. We try to make sure everybody's chatting, everybody's active and involved. There's a high energy level rather than a library atmosphere where people are whispering and nobody wants to talk. That is what makes it an exciting place to be. And people do feel they belong. And when people feel they belong, it has an added benefit to help your club grow. First of all, they're likely to join. And secondly, they will bring people to you. At my club, we will have people. I got people who, the new Tuesday club is having this. It's great, but it's building the club very rapidly. People come and then they come back and they bring their friends. I've got somebody who brought his sister, somebody who's brought her boyfriend. They enjoyed it so much and could see the value. They are bringing in their family and friends because they felt they belonged, they felt safe. And that's the environment that we want to create in our clubs. So have everybody chatting. Guests should never be left sitting alone. Members I know love to chat. And people in here on this, like Shamila from my club, will know that if I see members chatting and guests on their own, I'll ask members to go and chat. In fact, half the time I don't have to ask members. We just catch eye and they go, yeah, I know, and they go off and do it. It's a club culture that all members know they chat to guests. And by doing so, everybody's building their skills. And even the members, because going over and chatting to people when you don't know them can be nervy. And adults often say to me, I mean, mature adults, not young people, if I say, could you go and chat to the guests? What shall I say? You only got to say, hello. But when you're nervous, I get that's difficult. So there's ways of building their confidence. So it's like an extra bonus for members as well. They're going off chatting to people. Now, part of the energy we're trying to create in the room is making sure that everybody who comes to the meeting succeeds. And part of that should be the guest introductions as well. When guests are introduced, we're making it easy for the guests. We're making it easy for the guests. We don't want to make it easy for the members. So, for example, guest introductions, I like it to be done to make it easy for the guests. We'd have each guest stand up individually at their chair when it's their turn. They would say their full name and answer a closed, simple question. Favourite colour, favourite drink, favourite city. Andy O'Sullivan, London. Andy O'Sullivan tea. Now, I know that's easy for us as members, but when you're new and nervous, that's a big question. I used to do it. I used to rehearse my name as we were going around a room at work. So we want to make it easy for people. What I hate is when I say, all the guests stand up, and then they've all got to ask a question because it's just easier for the person running the session if all the guests stand up. Most clubs don't have many guests. There's no need for them to stand up. My clubs, we get huge numbers of guests, 20, 30, 40 sometimes. We don't have the guests stand up. So I think if we can manage that, we go around the room and guests stand up individually, so can everybody else. And have a word with the person who's running that session. I always will check with the person running the guest introduction session. What is their question? To make sure it is a nice, simple, easy one. Right? I've been to Toastmasters clubs and I've been asked to stand up and say something really interesting about myself. Or, and I'll give a politer version to what this question was, say something so funny we all fall on the floor laughing. How would you like that question? So funny we fall on the floor laughing. I mean, what kind of pressure is that putting on people? So make sure it's a nice, easy question. 3 words may seem easy to us, but for guests, that's a lot. And it's short and easy for them. Standing up individually. And we've given them a big clap at the end. And that's obviously generally the responsibility of the Sergeant Arms to make sure the guests are welcome from the moment they arrive in the building to the moment they sit in their chairs and even during the meeting. Make sure they're included and you create the energy. And then they're bringing their own friends and family back. So let's just quickly look at chat. Anne says, all guests say we're warm-hearted and welcome. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. Yes, Cara. I'm sure I pronounced your name wrong, Cara. But yes, it is. We encourage guests. We should chat to guests. Absolutely right. Guests should never be left on their own at all. Make them feel part of it. Because we all know what it's like to go to strange rooms and not know anybody. It's not that idea. Chris, love you. I love the fact you love the idea as well. Facilitation from tomorrow evening, social gatherings rather than it's got to be social. You know, we all attend enough boring meetings, don't we? That we don't want to be too heavy-handed. We want to make sure that everybody succeeds. And when guests succeed in that small step of saying those 3 words, their name and their favourite, they are so chuffed by that. You know, they've succeeded. They didn't struggle. You ask big questions when people struggle, they go home beating themselves up and won't come back. So we want to make sure that they succeed. Always make sure they succeed. So Jackie says we have a VPN and a meet and greet on the door. Excellent. So they're met as soon as they come in the room. They've got people chatting to them, which is excellent. Then make sure they keep mingling, as Elise says, all the way through the whole time. Yes, that's it. That's what my club does as well. We have the guest introduction just before the break, which kind of breaks the ice in a way that people get to know each other and they've already spoken. But always make sure members do have a tendency, because look, we all love catching up with our friends and many of the people in this box I'd love to go and chat to. But we need to make sure we're talking to guests first of all and not left on their own. We want to have success, small successes for our guests and for our members. And our members, love it or hate it, we all have table topics, don't we? We all have table topics in our clubs. And this is the part I think we love or hate. I've got to be honest, I used to hate them. I never did. I never volunteered for 2 years to do a table topic. I was so scared of doing them. But again, make sure that people who are doing table topics. Now, one of the things, table topics, in my view, should go to members without roles, first of all. So people who are not speaking in the meeting get to do a table topic. And one of the ways we make sure that is that every member comes in, they sign a sheet so we know they're in the room, and they say, have you got a role, yes or not? And then we'd look at that list and make sure anybody with a no does a table topic. That's make sure they're included. Guests in my clubs don't do table topics purely because we have too many members. So make sure members are involved and they're succeeding, especially the newer members, because they've joined the club, they probably haven't got roles, and then they're getting to do a table topic and getting success. But certainly be sure that all the members are doing a table topic in the meeting. I often go to clubs and I would see somebody running a table topic session. They'll ask a question, I've seen it, of the Toastmaster, a speaker, an evaluator, and then other people are walking out the room, spend the evening there, and they've not done anything. They've not spoken. I mean, how often are you going to keep giving up your evenings or days or mornings going to a club and not speaking? So always make sure members have first call on table topics to make sure they're engaged. They know they're doing something. Right? They're guaranteed it. And then if you have the capacity, feel free to involve guests. The guests should be invited, never picked on, which I've also seen, just called up, because that can lead to some rather awkward situations. My clubs, every member is guaranteed a table topic. And if we have more members in the room than we have table topics, we do 6 table topics, we run an extra session at the end. We run late. So what? What difference does it make if we run 5 minutes late? We don't evaluate them. They just get to do a table topic. And find out guests actually like that. They actually comment the fact that we make sure everybody speaks. So even though they've had to sit there for another 5 more minutes, they're actually pleased that we get everybody involved and they know that they're going to get a chance to speak. The other thing I would say on table topics as well, to make sure there is that success, is when people are taking the role for the first time, make sure the questions are appropriate. All too often, when members are taking them new, they think they go overly complicated, overly difficult, and sometimes choose inappropriate subjects. And the subject has to be appropriate and be sensitive of what's going on in the world when the questions are asked. The worst example I had was in my club, where we had in London, we had an awful fire at the end of last year in a tower block where many people sadly lost their lives. 2 days later, somebody's going to use that as a theme for their table topic session, the Grenfell fire tragedy, which to me is totally inappropriate and not something that you'd want to be doing. Because you don't know who's affected by it, first of all. There could be somebody in the room who's lost somebody close to them. None of us know. In London, we had a terrorist incident also last year near the club, 100 yards up the road from the club. And somebody started using that, or wanted to use that, as a theme for their table topics, talking about stabbings and killings and driving vehicles onto pavements. Again, that's not appropriate subject for table topics, because you don't know how people are affected. So when people are new, have a chat with them. I always call the questions in. It helps them, and you want to do that in advance. If you do it on the night, it adds to their stress levels. So by doing that, it helps the person asking the questions. They get more success because they see people answering their questions well. That helps them. Plus, it helps all the people asking the questions, answering the questions. They've got success. They could answer them. Nobody's failed. And of course, all the guests and other members see how easy and how well everybody's doing. So it's kind of like a win-win-win-win situation by making sure the questions are totally appropriate as well. So table topics is an important part of our meeting to make sure they're run to get people to come and join the club and to stay engaged. That, my friends, is only part 4 of our session here today. Any questions on table topics or what we've covered so far, my friends? Please put in the chat box if you have any, as we are going along. Otherwise, I will move on to what is the penultimate session in our 6-step system to making sure we have a growth in our clubs, we create the right atmosphere, and we get people signing up and joining. I don't see any comments coming in as yet, so I will move on. That being the case, give another second. So I know there's about, I think it's 10-second delay from the time I speak to the time you hear. So I'll give it a few more seconds just in case you need that few seconds. I see nothing. I reckon that's about 10 seconds. So I'll move on to the next part of our system, the things we should always be doing as leaders within our clubs is to constantly evaluate what we're doing, how well we're doing it, and what we can do to grow, to become more successful. I mentioned the table topic session, but there's all these different roles we have in our clubs. And we want to make sure that everybody doing those roles has success. Because when they have success, that makes them more motivated to come. It makes them more motivated to keep continuing growing their success and success of the club. Members and guests see roles done well and they aspire to do them. That's what they want to do when they see a great role. So therefore, by speaking to people when they're new in any role, the timekeeper, the evaluators, whatever it is, how can you help people as leaders, as experienced members of the club with their roles? How can you take time to check with them to make sure they're okay, that they're going to have a success? Because when they have a success, you'll have a success, the club will have a success. And it's all the time keeping the bar high, making sure that everybody sees what a great club you are. And when you have those successes, let's reward them as well. We have many clubs give out these ribbons, best speaker, evaluator, to recognise when people have done well. They've been voted by the membership, by the people in the room to have achieved that. So let's do that and recognise as well people who join the club. We always give a certificate out to every new member. And that serves several purposes. It goes back to what I said earlier. It gives them a sense of belonging. They now feel they're part of the club, getting that piece of paper. They love that so much. When I brought that in one club, I had people complaining they never got one because they want a certificate. So give them a certificate to welcome them in. It has the advantage they feel part of the club. Guests see that you are the club to join and therefore they want to come as well. They see people joining your club. It helps them to know that that's what great club you are. And thirdly, members get to see who's joined recently. And when they see people joining, they know that they're now a member. So it's multiple ways that this works. And it's a way of helping us to keep growing and succeeding. And do evaluate what we're doing. There is a spreadsheet, I think it's on, that Florian Bay, our club growth director, put together, a way that we can look at how we're doing with our clubs, how many members we get, how many guests are coming, retention, and with membership renewals coming up soon. Now's the time to be contacting people you've not seen for a while, maybe. Reach out to them. January is a great time because everybody's got their New Year's resolutions. And if they've not come to your club for a while and their New Year's resolution is to grow their public speaking skills, now's the time to reach out to them. Get in touch. Short email is all it takes. We've not seen you for a while. Hope everything's okay. Hope to see you soon. Sometimes a short little email like that is all it takes to get them to come back in. My clubs are doing that at the moment, even though we don't need the additional members. We have so many. But you know, it's important to get these people back. And on the system we use, Club Plan, we can see when people last logged in. We're reaching out to those people, getting them to come back. That's what we want to help them. So be aware of what it is with or what's going on so that you can keep in touch with the members. Keep evaluating how well you're doing. How can you support the members? How can you support the club? And how can you create that environment where everybody's going forward, raising the bar and growing the whole time? That is the step of evaluating our progress, looking to see what we're doing and how together we can continually keep on growing ourselves. Let's have a look. Virtual badge. Alina, when you say virtual, do you mean like I assume you mean the member certificates? I think the paper certificates are the best because somebody comes up to the front of the room. They're presented it in front of everybody. They get a round of applause for joining the club. Everybody sees they've gone home. And then they take their certificate home and they have it at home. They think of you again when they unpack their bag and they get their certificate out. And you may like, if nobody gets a certificate, screws it up straight away, they will keep that maybe for a long time. Who knows? So I think there's something tangible about a paper new member certificate to give it to them. Quite frankly, it's just a template I created and it costs like a penny to print probably. So it's so worth it, really is. So I think giving it out a proper one. Thank you, Alina. Instead of the banners for which. So I think I just about the club banners, Alina, about the banners, the Toastmasters banners that we can order from Toastmasters International with our club name on them. They're immense value. I would certainly have those. Oh, you mean so looking at Helena's question coming in. So we give a paper new member certificate, goes to everybody who joins the club, although there would be the club banners in the room as well. Yes, and we're going to talk about emails in a moment as well. It's about personalization of emails. It's coming up on the next session because we want to make sure that people feel part of it. And badges, absolutely, Sarah. You know what? Guests come in, when they come into my club, they get a sticky with their name on it. Let's write their name on it. All members have a badge as well. And badges as well make people feel that they belong. Members want their badges. So people will join the club at 4:30 p.m. They will fill their membership form in, pay their money, and an hour or 2 hours later, they'll be in the room looking for their membership badge. They want their badge. And if people can't find their badge, they kind of complain. Where's my badge? I haven't got a badge. I've joined. People love that, to have a membership badge. So I like membership badges. Again, it's seconds to produce. I don't buy them. We just buy the blank plastics and print out on a PowerPoint, to be honest, their names and cut them up, stick them in and have them out for people. Members like that. It's all creating this sense of belonging. And it's that sense of belonging that helps people keep coming back and helps your club to grow. That is really, it's creating the community, making that sense of belonging. And I keep saying that, it's so important. That's why people come back. That's why in my clubs, they're bringing their families, their friends to do it. And the final part is kind of touching on message. The message we're giving out, and I don't mean the verbal message, I mean to the guests. How do they join our club? How do you let them know to join? To keep in touch with them, to communicate with them. And this is something we do, and it works so well. This, guys, if you take nothing away from today's webinar, I will definitely implement this next part. So I love automating. I love systems. If you can automate it, I like to automate it. And one of the things I like doing is when guests come into the building, we get them to sign in. And I'm sure if you're like me, you spent many happy hours trying to read sheets of paper. Is that an I or an L on their email addresses, where it's all kind of scribbled very, very quickly. So when guests turn up, they get given an iPad, and other makers of tablet are available, but they get an iPad and they will sign in with their name and email address. That's it. In fact, this is the form. That's all they get. There's the iPad, and that's it. Straight away, we've taken one big task away of having now to manually enter in their details. That's it. But this is now where it gets very clever. This puts them into an email automation. Basically, this is what I do for my business, or I had to set up my business. I just copied it across. So this is what was the clever part, and this works really well. This is a screenshot of an automation. Don't worry too much about what it does. But if you notice, they enter the list at the top as soon as they fill in the form. Then it waits until 9 p.m. Guess what time our meeting finishes? It finishes before 9. So therefore, they get that email as the meeting finishes, or they're on their way to the station or the bus. So when they next check their phone, they have an email from me welcoming them. And as Alina said, it's personalised. That percentage for sign becomes, hi, Tom, Mary, Kate, Fred, Ian. Welcomes them, thanks them for coming, and gives them the membership form. That has been so successful. Because right now, when they've left the meeting, they're infused. That's the buying side, in essence. If they're going to thinking of joining your club, that's a great time to do it. They want to join now. They're enthusiastic about your club. They've walked out. They thought about it. Give them a link to the membership form. I've tried giving paper ones, but it doesn't work as well as when you give it to them. They walked out the room. They thought about it. to get them. So just looking at Helena's comment. Oh, sorry, badges. Well, got it to each other. So send that. Then, so get that email when they're the hot prospect, as I call it. Sounds a bit salesy, I know. Then if you look, the next thing is we wait now until Sunday evening, 5 p.m. So it's gone out today. They get email 2. And email 2 now invites them back again, reminds them that we're meeting, gives them the full address details, tells them it's free. And the subject is personal invitation. You know, I lose track how many people reply to me on that one because it seems personal invitation. Okay, if they read way down the bottom, they would see the unsubscribe here because it's automated. But people take that as a personal letter. They like it. It is personalized, as I said earlier, and we get a massive response from that. So look at maybe how can you automate these emails? How can you systemize it in some way? It's easy for everybody. You've got the guests signing in, they're giving you the details, and it all then goes straight into a system. Makes it quick and easy for us and indeed for them. And that's where we get the success. That's where the success comes. I use a paid for system because it runs through my training company. There are other systems like these that you can use. Each of them has free tiers until you get to maybe 1,000 people. And I hope you do get to that point. It's totally free, so you don't have to worry. You just need somebody to spend. So, Jackie, I was using Active Campaign. These ones work just as well. You just create the form, and it all feeds through into that system. MailChimp, MailerLite, Sendintheblue are all similar type operations that you can use. And you're getting hold of people. You know, we've all had emails coming days. I've even need to go into a club and got an email weeks later when somebody's busy and just got around to sending them out. But you get it that night as the meeting finishes. You get on your train, the bus, and there's an email inviting you to join. You see the magic in that that's when they're thinking about it, and that's when you're there to give them the opportunity. That is what's so important. And they, my friends, are the 6 steps of our system, how we can grow our clubs together. And it's important to grow our clubs because there are so many other groups and organizations out there who do not have our standard, our credibility, and our, I don't know, how great as we all are as Toastmasters. To recap this before I give you where you can get some more information on it, the shop window is your website. So make sure you have a look at the website. Is it up to date? Is it fresh? Is it even linking and working properly? Take a look at it. Look at it through the eyes of a guest, not the eyes of a member, and see the difference between it. Make sure the language is you focused, talking to the pain point. What is it this person is looking for? How can you, as a wonderful Toastmasters club, give it to them? Be the sergeant at arms. Make sure people are welcome. And I always say we're all sergeant at arms. Wherever you are, if a guest is on their own, help them. Make everybody feel welcome in your club. All those guests. And when they feel welcome, when they feel they belong, that is when they're going to be more interested in joining and coming back again. When people join, and even if it's guests, do the table topic session. Nice and easy. Make sure everybody succeeds at the table topics and, of course, at the guest introduction sessions as well. Continually evaluate how well you're doing as a club. What can you do better? How can you help people succeed with all their roles as well as their speeches? What the role? We often focus on the speeches. What are the roles people are doing? How can you help them? What information can you give them? My club also has crib sheets for every single role automatically sent out to people so that every time they're doing a role, they can browse it. There's like I know a lot of clubs have these, a standard, your timekeeper, standard introduction, what to say. There's another form that gives you all the people who you should be reporting on and what their timings. So it's all automated and systemized for everybody. So anybody can quickly step in and do it and succeed. And then look at the message that you're sending out as well. Keep in touch with people. Do it at the moment. They're really keen. They're looking to join a club and be there. Be the people there to help them and grab into that. And if you want an infographic that covers these 6 steps, that's where you can go and leave it. Thank you, Pablo. Hope to speak to you soon. There's the 6 steps there. Have a look and you can recap those, what we've covered here today. That is the 6 steps. Looking at the questions, if there are no final questions, please put them in. Thank you, Alina. If there's no more questions, I will hand back to our host for this evening, Mr. Wally.
Well, thank you, Andy, for that brilliant session. Lots of information. Plenty of just so much to learn, and sometimes we think that we're doing great things in our clubs, but then that's why we have this webinar series put up so that we can share best practices, and you certainly have shared your best practices with us tonight. Now please don't go, we've still got some information about what's coming up in the next few weeks. Andy has been kind enough, as part of our club growth strategies, we just believe that also contests, we're in contest season right now, and hosting great contests is also something that can help your members to engage and grow your clubs. And so in the next few weeks, we've got some fantastic webinars on membership growth. So Andy, would you like to tell us what's coming up in the next few weeks?
So yes, I'm going to do one. First of all, we're going to repeat this webinar again. So if you know anybody who was unable to join us today, who you think would be interested, please get them to come back and sign up, and then we can repeat this. It will be live, and they hopefully will get value. Then we're going to do one on club contests. As Wally mentioned, club contests are coming up. So we're going to look at how do you organise a club contest? What's the paperwork you need? What are the roles that you have to have filled? And how do you perform those roles? People sometimes think that a club contest is similar to a normal meeting, but it's not. It's really different. A little bit more formal because we want to be fair to everybody taking part as well. So we're going to cover, first of all, how to organise a club contest, and a great club contest. Because so often I go to contests and sadly I see a lot of things wrong. And suddenly, even when I'm not in an official role, sometimes I have to intervene because it's so bad it would seriously affect the contest. That's the first one we're going to do. So we're going to repeat this one. Then we got the one on club contest. Then we got the third one that's coming up will be on how to judge at a club contest. And this is valuable from 2 sides, I think. If you're judging, how do you judge? What should you be looking for when you're judging? How do you use the paperwork? And so how to do a good, fair judging. And even if you're not judging, maybe you're going to be competing. But wouldn't it be useful to know what the judges are looking for so that you can reach that and achieve that? Because when you're competing, every single point makes a difference. It can make a difference between winning or not. So we're actually going to have a live contest on the webinar as well. So everybody will be able to get involved. So that's one. We're repeating this one on how to organise a contest, and then one on how to judge a contest as well. A busy period coming up in February. And
yes, that's right. Dates for your diary. The 4th of February is the first of the how to organise a contest series. And then that will be repeated on the 7th of February, how to organize a contest. And then how to judge a contest. That will be on the 11th and on the 14th of February. Look out for information and look out for the links to register. Make sure that you send this out to members of your club. It's going to be a great time. And I tell you, there's lots. This contest season, as you all know, leads all the way to the international speech contest. You don't want to put up a contest and for whatever reason, people get disqualified or the contest is not done properly. But it's also when people come to contests, we show the best of our speakers and reward them. So it's a way of attracting, retaining, and engaging your members. So please look out for the communication on that. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on another of our webinar series. My name is Wale Oshosami. I am the Membership Extension Chair, D91, and we'll see you again on the 4th, I think is the next time we meet again, 4th of February. Thank you all for spending your time to be here. There'll be recordings for this webinar, which the link will be sent to you. You can watch it and you can send it out to other members of your club. And if you do have further questions, Andy will be staying behind for the next 3 to 5 minutes and taking more questions. But this webinar is officially over. So Andy, over to you again. If you have any questions.
Thank you much. I think we've got more questions, have we? No. So thank you much, guys. Look forward to seeing when. Remind me, when are we doing this? Repeating this one on the.
Yes, this is on Wednesday. So today is the 21st. Yes, so it's Wednesday. I'll just get the date out for you again. Apologies. Wednesday, Monday. No, it's not Wednesday. It's Monday 29th.
29th, perfect, brilliant. So please let everybody know about it then as well. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much for giving up your evening and joining us here. Wish you every success in your clubs, and feel free to get in touch if I can do to help.